The month before the first ever Las Vegas Grand Prix, the story was largely one of negativity. If residents weren't lamenting the enormous construction project's inconveniences, then ordinary fans were lamenting the highest ticket costs by far on the Formula One schedule. There has been a lot of talk about the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Why was the Grand Prix at Las Vegas so special? Critics were all too ready to declare the Las Vegas Grand Prix a bust before they ever saw the cars on the track, when these expensive tickets and hotel packages didn't sell out, despite many of them being on sale in the weeks preceding the event. Max Verstappen, a three-time World Drivers' Champion driver for Red Bull, was arguably the most well-known critic. He bemoaned the excess of flash and glamour, claiming that the Las Vegas Grand Prix was 99% show, 1% sporting event. Once more, this occurred prior to the Dutchman completing a single lap around the track. The sporting event portion of the presentation, that is. These shows would provide incredible experiences, even in the event that the Grand Prix proved to be a complete bust. It was unclear what would happen next in the incident. The Las Vegas Grand Prix exceeded expectations in every way, including the fan experience, entertainment value, competition, and F1 spectacle. No one could have imagined it would be as successful as it was. This made Verstappen and all the other critics appear really silly in the process. To be clear, the Las Vegas Strip is part of the street circuit on which we race Formula One cars. 3 words sum it up: drive to survive. If not for the Netflix series' exponential expansion, this race simply would not exist. Growth for the Formula One sport in terms of its U.S. fan base and revenue for Liberty Media, the sport's U.S.-based owner. But it's crucial to remember that Max Verstappen isn't the main character in Drive to Survive. Actually, he doesn't really like the show and skipped a season because of creative disagreements. However, Lewis Hamilton is also not, considering Mercedes, as well as Ferrari, missed the first season. The real stars of Drive to Survive, however, are Daniel Ricciardo and Gunther Steiner. Therefore, if anyone in the paddock deserves recognition for expanding the sport's fan base and bringing Formula One to Las Vegas, it's these two people, in addition to the particular dynamics of the game itself. Only 10 teams and 20 drivers participate simultaneously in EV when comparing Las Vegas to other U.S. races. This is one of its main advantages. The city and the track are the same thing. The journey to and from the race site is not impeded by heavy traffic. At first, especially while the track was heated, I was worried that a street circuit would result in gridlock and make it impossible to acquire ride shares from one location to the other, but this was not the case. At all times of the day, getting about was simple. Furthermore, despite FP1's debacle, events roughly 20 times a year are comparable to the Super Bowl. As an aside, Hamilton's captivating story contributed much to the sport's appeal prior to Drive to Survive. He's a dedicated sportsman and fantastic champion. Through Hamilton, a sizable portion of the Formula One fan population was introduced to the sport. Verstappen doesn't appear to care about the sport he plays, though, for reasons that are unclear. He seems to be blind to the fact that sponsors, admirers, and all the glitz and glamour combine to enable him to pursue his passion and build a successful career out of it. Fortunately, Ricciardo and Steiner mean that F1 does not require Verstappen. Giving those who dislike Vegas something to cheer about didn't take long. After a mere 8 minutes, Sainz's Ferrari pulled over to the side of the track and the red flag was displayed on the displays on Lando's side of the garage. It took a minute to find out that the automobile had $1.5 million worth of damage. The session would be cancelled and the cause was a loose drain cover. This threw the pre-race storyline off a cliff, assuming it had been heading that way. Critics celebrated the setback. This must indicate that the remainder of the weekend would be an absolute bust, or so they hoped. FP2 ran until 4 a.m. after being extended by 30 minutes. An already rigorous race schedule was made ridiculous by this. In order to be ready for qualifying at midnight the following day and the festivities that followed, everyone had to make up for lost sleep during the day. There is undoubtedly room for improvement in this area. The idea that Saturdays will turn out to be more entertaining than Sundays was a major motif for the 2023 season. Ferrari, McLaren, and Red Bull competed for pole positions and front rows over some incredible qualifying sessions. Nonetheless, Verstappen would lead the field by about a minute. Leclerc secured the pole position and Ferrari secured the front row in an exciting qualifying session held in Las Vegas. Except Verstappen finished second in the race when Sainz was penalized for the drain cover incident. Ahead of the race, there was a lot of unfavorable conjecture regarding the course. Would it be too smooth on the new surface? At 12 a.m., will the weather be too chilly? Would driving such a course be interesting at all? All of these issues were resolved during qualifying, which prepared us for an exciting race. Why is everyone calling the Las Vegas Grand Prix a success? The Las Vegas Grand Prix was chosen as the second best race of the 2023 season by WTF1 fans. Naturally, Singapore was overwhelmingly favored to win because, among other reasons, it was an exciting race to watch, with Mercedes, Ferrari, and McLaren vying for first place, and it was the only race that Red Bull didn't win. It's comparable to comparing apples and oranges in that regard. Voters chose Vegas to be the best race Red Bull won, which is quite an accomplishment for a race held for the first time on a street course in the center of Las Vegas that was built in just 18 months. Why is a race a great race? Surpasses. Since China in 2016, Vegas has collected 99 of them, the most for a dry race. According to RacingPass.net, Lewis Hamilton in particular performed an amazing 15 overtake throughout this race, setting a record for the most for a single race in the current Formula One campaign. The highlight of the 2023 season was undoubtedly Charles Leclerc's last lap pass on Sergio Perez, which came at the end of the lengthy straight on Las Vegas Boulevard, also known as the Strip, as he went on to take second place. He reportedly decelerated at a staggering 7 Gs when braking from a high speed just short of 220 miles per hour. This was the season of 2023's Through Goes Hamilton moment. I was watching with a bunch of Australian Formula One fans in the Club SI Suite on the Strip. Everything went crazy there. Speaking positively about the first ever Las Vegas Grand Prix would be an understatement. Not to get too serious, but according to the fans, it was superior to Austin, Silverstone, Spa, Monza, Brazil. The Las Vegas Grand Prix is similar to Miami in that it feels like one big party, with an F1 race happening right in the middle of it. Was there a glimpse of Formula One's future in the Las Vegas Grand Prix? The success of the Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix, which is the penultimate race of the 2023 season, was a topic of much conjecture in the weeks leading up to the event. The answer is arguable. And despite the weekend's teething problems, the race was undoubtedly a breathtaking spectacle that unveiled an intriguing new facet of the Formula One scene. The Grand Prix took place against the backdrop of the much-anticipated Strip, the center of Las Vegas, which is home to renowned hotels, casinos, and neon lights. Over the course of the 3-race weekend, F1 completely occupied the 1.4-mile section of road. It was a 3.8-mile street circuit with 17 bends that was extremely fast. Having every driver participating in Formula One in Las Vegas is essential to showcasing the extraordinary amount of work that has gone into it. Naturally, Verstappen's perspective has changed now that he's been proclaimed winner for the entire weekend. For F1, it is evident that the race is here to stay since it was held in Las Vegas for the first time since the 1980s. A 10-year agreement to compete in Sin City until 2032 has been reached, and the construction of a permanent paddock is expected to cost $500 million. Is F1 entering a new era? In a nutshell, the answer is yes. The 2023 Las Vegas Grand Prix was heavily financed, and it has established a new standard going forward. Are you a fan of Formula One? How do you feel about the Grand Prix in Las Vegas? Why, in your opinion, was the race successful? Please feel free to leave your insightful remarks below. For more interesting stories and updates, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Goodbye.